We'll dive into some things. If you're not on camera and you can join us, we would love that. We'd love to see your face. Um, just like I was saying, Bob's wisdom that he just gave was pretty on point for what we're going to talk about today. But I've got a few questions for you guys first. So, can we be a little bit interactive with this? Are you guys okay? This team call is going to be a little bit different. I think Britt Valentine, I just saw your thumb go up. I think you're really going to like this one. All right, because I know that you're focused and I know you've got goals, but today's going to be a little bit different than normal. Not a lot of rah-rah, not a lot of hype, just going to get down to it. So put a one in the chat if you came to Symmetry because you heard that there was time freedom available through building a business here and you wanted that. Okay, cool. Now, I'm gonna call on Britt just because she's front and center on my screen. Britt, did you put a one in the chat? I want to
I
make sure
didn't.
you didn't. Okay.
No,
Should I call on someone else or do you want to roll with me here?
no, I'll roll with you.
All right, cool. Because I know you like time freedom. You want that too. What would that look like for you and your family?
Having more time freedom?
Yep. Like compared to other jobs that you've had in the past.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be amazing, even though it's to have one kid left at home. But my husband has a very flexible schedule because he works at home and has for several years. So it allows us to have more time and be able to flex some things for us. So
Cool. Love that. And I believe these questions that I'm going to ask you guys, you can mute Britt. I'm not going to call on you
thank
anymore. I won't put you on the spot. You could probably lead this call though. Um, a lot of us are going to put ones in the chat. I do want to mention they're going to mean different things to us. So I want you guys to feel those things, okay? Because like when I think about time freedom, it's going to look a little bit different than Brit's, right? She has older kids. I have younger kids. We're different places in life. So like I want you guys to hold on to your vision in these conversations, all right? Put a two in the chat for me if you came to Symmetry because you wanted an opportunity that would eliminate the pressure of money. You heard that you can make really good money in life insurance and you wanted to eliminate some of the pressure. If you ask my wife about this question, she would probably say, I want to be able to bless people, but I also want to be able to walk into Target and buy whatever I want and not have to look at the total at the bottom of the register. Does anyone resonate with that? I see a couple head nods, okay? Target's expensive, all right? You want to walk in there twice a week and not work. Joseph, I 100% agree with you. Walk into Cabela's and buy whatever you want to. That would be a dream, right? But that's pretty surface level for what this question means to me. All right. The pressure of money, I think that everyone views money differently. For me, it's to leverage time and it's to leverage opportunities for my family. It's not so much about accumulating and in that sense. Okay. So it's more about what can my family do with this and who can we bless and what experiences can we have. So anyways, good questions for thought as we go throughout this. I read a quote by Ross Harkness. Put a three in the chat if you've ever heard of Ross. I've probably mentioned his name a handful of times on this call, but I want to read it to you guys because I want us all to reflect on this today. All right. I know that both of those things that we just talked about, creating time freedom and creating money, like lessening the burden of money, which would mean making more, earning more. I think both of those things take a lot of focus for someone, especially if you're coming from a place where you are here. You guys name it. You all came from different places in terms of both of those things. For me, I came from working at a dealership. I was gone from my house 70 hours a week, and I was making pretty good money. So the money that I was making, I couldn't even enjoy it with my family, and I was dying inside because I never got to see Kate. I never got to enjoy evenings. And Saturdays were at the dealership bell to bell. So like when I came here, those meant something different to me than for some of you. All right. But I know that if you want to go somewhere that you haven't been before, it's going to take a lot of focus. Put focus in the chat if you're with me. All right. We're going to be very interactive today. Put focus in the chat with you if you're with me. Because we know that if we want to, like I said, if we want to get somewhere that we've never been before, we got to focus on that thing. Right. And that's why I asked you questions that bring up your vision. All right. People come here for two things: time freedom and money freedom. All right. They end up staying for the culture, they end up staying for the people, they end up staying for the growth opportunity, but they usually come here for those two reasons. And so if I want to get to that new place, it's going to take a lot of focus. And here's what Ross Harkness says about focus: it takes a special kind of person to truly focus because most people want progress without exclusion. They want results without sacrifice and success without saying no. They want to keep every option open and every door unlocked, with every distraction justified just in case they want to turn back. But the ones who actually build something great, they narrow their world. They don't dabble. They don't try to look impressive by doing 10 things at once. They pick one thing and they give that one thing their everything because spreading yourself thin is the biggest form of self-sabotage. When your focus is split, your outcomes are too. You can't scale, you have diluted effort, one goal, one strategy, one task at a time, and commit to it like there's no alternative. Because in business, there's no hack, there's no shortcut, just those who focus and those who don't. And I saw your comment in the chat there, Bert. That's where my mind went 100%. And I had a conversation with Eleanor a couple months ago now, and she started bringing up all the things. Like we had just got off a team call, and she's like, "You talk a lot about the things that you do, but you don't talk a lot about the things that you say no to." And I think that's the biggest cheat code that you have as a leader is that you say no to a lot of things that people easily say yes to. And so I do want to give credit to that because she got me thinking and I'm like, you know what? Kate and I, we have said no to a lot of things. Okay? We've said no to a lot of things that help us stay on routine. We say no to a lot of things that help build our marriage in the right way. We say no to a lot of things that allow us to raise our kids the way that we want to. We say no to a lot of things that helped us build a business quickly instead of slow. All right. So I want to give credit to some of those things. Um, so when we're talking about focus, I believe first and foremost that you need to get really narrow. All right. You've got to have a vision for exactly what you want. And that's absolutely true for Kate and I. We came here knowing that we wanted to give our family time freedom. We came here knowing that we wanted to raise our kids a certain way, that we wanted to have certain things, we wanted to do life with certain people. And so those visions were always crystal clear that when it came to the fork in the road, the decisions were actually rather easy, guys. The decisions were easy. But I think for some people, decisions get really hard when you lack clarity of vision. I think focus becomes a lot lighter of a lift when you get narrow on vision. All right. So successful people, when they build something, they have extreme focus because they get narrow. Number two, they don't dabble. And my favorite example of this so far this year is with Kate. She's probably going to hate that I'm talking about this, but since the first of the year, that girl has lost 15 pounds. And she's trying to get shredded right now. So watch out. Kate's getting shredded. All right. And I absolutely love I know. Sorry, Kate. There's only a couple people on this call. It's just family. Um so you guys can give her some kudos in the chat. But you guys should see how many things she says no to right now. It is insane. She has her meal plans. Okay, shout out our friend Blake Prime. He's getting us dialed in on our meal plans. But like she actually follows it. She has her workout plans, but like she actually follows it. And we didn't have a ton of lacks in our nutrition before this year. This is not a whole new goal for us, but who else likes having some ice cream before they go to bed? Like I'm healthy all day. I'm just gonna have some ice cream right before I go to bed. It's all good. It's all good, fam. Right? For us, we love those Yasso bars. We're like obsessed with them. I would have two. She would have one. Those things are so great. Uh, I love sherbet, by the way. It's the best. But we would have these Yasso bars, and like we would justify going out to dinner two or three times a week because we've been working hard. We deserve it. Like, so Kate had this vision and she has this goal. She got really narrow focused on what she was willing to say yes to, and she got even more focused on what she was going to say no to. So I want you to relate this to your business. Kate is not dabbling, all right? Took us the same thing, and it's still taking us the same type of mentality to build our business, saying no to things more often than we say yes to things. All right. Number three, they pick that one thing that's going to drive them forward and they build everything else around it. All right. And Kate sent me this message by a pastor that we really like this morning, and this is where my mind went when I was taking these notes. He talked about, does your marriage and your life revolve around your kids, or do your kids evolve around your marriage? All right. And that was an important question for me because I think about business when I hear these types of questions too. I'm not just thinking linear when I hear these things. I'm like, okay, we want to raise our kids a certain way. We want to grow our business a certain way. Is our lives revolving around those kids, or are those kids revolving around our marriage? Because our marriage is probably more important to us than anything. But how many times do we as parents, we let our lives evolve around our kids, right? So, anyways, this is where my mind went when we're talking about picking that one thing and building everything else around it. All right. So, if you want to build a business, if you want to build a family, if you want to build a new skill set, you've got to pick that one thing, get really narrow on it, and build everything else around it. All right. I thought that was a really good example. Hopefully, y'all are hanging with me. Put a four in the chat if that's resonating. Now we're on number four. They go all in. All right. They don't spread themselves thin in this process. So maybe some of you are sitting there right now and you're spread pretty thin. You need a realignment. You need to get focused. You don't need to work more hours. You don't need to fall into the hustle culture of always needing to be doing the thing. You just need to get really focused while you're doing the thing. All right. Because we say yes to a lot of things that take our mind and energy away from the one thing. All right. So this is what successful people do when they're building. Okay. So the word of the day is focused. All right. Now, my coach outside of this business, he says before you can have focus in an area, you've got to have vision for it. All right. And so we're going to go through a vision exercise. And this is something that like professional athletes do. Angie's excited for this. Angie, you excited to go through a vision exercise? All right, cool. We'll do it. So I don't want you guys like if your heart rates are up right now because I'm getting you fired up, like calm the body. We're gonna be in the body today, a little bit in the mind. But professional athletes do this, and I remember when I was in high school, my cross country coach, whenever we would travel to a meet, he would sit us all down in the hotel room the night before. We'd have the entire team in there, and everyone's kind of all laying all over each other. It's like a room full of people. But he turns down the lights, he turns on some calm music, and he walks us through a visualization of our race for the next day. And it starts with, all right, you're loading up for the day. You've got everything laid out from the night before. You're getting on the bus. You're laughing with your friends. You get off the bus. You're putting your race cleats on. You arrived at the golf course you're racing at. This is what it looks like. There's a hill here. There's a hill here. There's a hill here. Like he's walking us through it, obviously in a lot more detail. So I want to walk that through for you guys because one thing I've heard from a lot of new agents is I have a really hard time with vision. Okay. And I think vision can be broken down into these areas of family and relationships, of income, of physical fitness. You can definitely break them down in those things, but you've got to go through a process of allowing yourself to think into the future so that you can shape your current nose that you need to be attending to right now. All right, so let's go through this. You guys with me? We're going to walk through a visualization. So if you could for me real quick, if you're comfortable with this and you're not driving, just close your eyes. If you are driving right now, you could probably still go to a place while you're driving. Just don't drift off too much. Bob, I see you laughing. You got to actually have your eyes closed. I see you scrolling on your phone. Stop it. You're making fun of me already, dude. All right, so close your eyes. I want you guys to let your hands relax to your sides so that you're not touching your phone or touching your desk. Um, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. and then exhale slowly through your mouth. I want you to do that 5 times. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Let's get centered for a moment. And deep breaths, like everything that you were stressing about that you got to do after this call today. You're not worrying about that right now. You're here. You're going through this exercise because you want more. And we got to get really clear on what that is. So, as you're here right now in this moment, let the noise of your day fade into the background. Let your mind settle. Let your shoulders drop a little bit. Okay, I see some of you are really tight in your shoulders. Let those drop. Keep exhaling and inhaling in through your nose, out through your mouth. So, this is your time. This is your time to see the future that you're creating. Now, I want you to picture yourselves 5 years from today. All right. Let's say you stayed the course. You didn't quit. You showed up, even on the hard days, even when you were tired, even when doubt whispered in your ear, you kept going. And now you've arrived. You're 5 years in the future. You built the business. What does that life look like? You built it. You did everything you wanted to. What does that life look like? Specifically, where are you waking up each morning? I want you guys to look around and visualize the home that you're in. Some of you have dreams for that. This is what I want my home to look like. This is what I want it to feel like. See the light that's coming through the windows. Feel the air in the room. Like visualize this walking through your house. You notice the peace, the pride, the sense of accomplishment that fills this space that you've built. You built this. You walk outside. What car's in the driveway? Some of you love thinking about that. Where are you headed today? Not because you have to, but because you choose to. What kind of freedom do you have now that you've put in all this work? As you head to your day, how do you feel physically? What have you been able to do for your health? How do you feel emotionally and spiritually? Now, I want you guys to picture one more thing. Picture your family. Who are you doing all this for? See the look on their faces? Maybe that's your spouse or your loved one, your kids. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe it's the future generations that you haven't even met yet. Okay, we're talking 5 years here. A lot could happen in 5 years. You've changed the entire direction of your family tree because you got focused and you did what you said you were going to do. Now, those people that you're looking at right now, they don't know every sacrifice you've made. They don't know everything that you had to say no to. They weren't there for every late night, every early morning, every tough decision, every uncomfortable conversation, but they feel the results. They feel secure, they feel loved, they feel led. Now, I want you guys to picture your team, the agency that you've built. You've really built something that matters. You guys are helping out way more than 400 families a month. You've built something that matters. You've created opportunities for people. You've helped others become profitable and confident and free. Some of them were in survival mode when they met you. And since they met you, now they're thriving. How cool is that? They thank you for that too. Not just because you gave them a handout, but because you gave them belief. You showed them what was possible. You modeled what it looked like to lead with honor and grit. You showed them the way. So take a second and just look into that future and soak it up. This isn't a fantasy. This is a preview if you stay the course. So I just want you guys to rest in that for a second. Get crystal clear on what that looks like. All right, now come back to today. You guys can keep your eyes closed. Now you're back in today, back into this present moment. And I want you to ask yourself, why am I really doing this? And who am I doing it for? And what am I willing to say no to become that person in the future? What do I need to get focused on? Now, I want you guys to say that answer in your mind right now. Name the people, name the purpose, feel that fire rise a little bit. That should get your heart rate going a little bit more. This is your reminder that the price you're paying today is nothing compared to the payoff that's coming. The pain of discipline is so much lighter than the pain of regret. In this life, the future that you just saw in your mind, it's waiting for you to go get it. So, together, let's take one last deep breath in through our nose, fill the chest, and exhale through your mouth. You guys can open up your eyes. And I do want to tell you guys this is not a distant object. 5 years goes by really quickly. If you're back with me, put a five in the chat if 5 years goes really quick for you. Like it goes by like that. It's crazy, especially when you have kids, you see them start growing in different ways. Like I saw Wilbur shaking his head like, dude, 5 years can go by real quick. All of a sudden your kids are fishing in the backyard. Okay, so here's a reality of that. You're in this season for a reason. I believe all of you feel that you're here for a reason. All right. Some of you feel like maybe I'm not getting paid what I'm worth. You feel resistance in different areas in your life. You feel a little bit chaotic and spread thin. And for some reason, it doesn't always feel like it's possible for you to have all those things that you just envisioned. But I promise you, you can go get anything you want. You just got to plant your flag and you got to get really narrow focused on what you're willing to negotiate on as far as what you say yes to and what you say no to. So here's my advice for you guys. Two things. And this is in follow up to the Ross Harkness quote that we started this call with. Number one, accomplishing your goal in doing this thing, everything that you just envision, it sometimes means missing out on the things that feel really good in the moment. Are you guys with me on that? Like it may feel better to say yes to something. It may feel harder to say no, but accomplishing your goal means that you made the right decisions and it wasn't always easy. I believe that we will always compromise our goals if we're constantly weighing out the road less traveled versus doing what is easier right now. Okay. Number one on that, create, and if this didn't do it for you, you got to get really crystal clear on your vision. All right. Delayed gratification is something that is a skill set in every leader that I really appreciate. The leaders that I really follow, they get really good at saying, I don't need this right now because I know exactly what I want in my future. Okay, so delayed gratification is a skill set. You got to learn that. That's my recommendation. And then following that, once you get really good at understanding why you're paying the price and what you're willing to sacrifice on, it helps shape your actions. And you got to really hone in this understanding that what I do today affects me down the road. I heard that on Danny Young's call last night several times. The things I do today affects me down the road. The things I do today affects me down the road. So you got to get really good at mastering the mundane because Bob, you probably could have taken this call and ran with it in 30 seconds because what you said earlier was exactly it. You got to just get good at doing this over a long period of time. It doesn't show up in the first 2 months. You just got to get really consistent and do that one thing over and over again. And look where that's gotten you in your business, Bob. You're a 115, you're hitting 120 in less than 6 days from now. Two more promotions to the top of the company because you got really good at one thing. All right. So get crystal clear on that, which is going to shape your actions. And then number two, here's my second advice. Building something big means taking things off the table. Massive commitment When your goals are super crystal clear, it requires more than what you currently have right now. Okay? Some of you haven't been to this place of focus before in anything. You've always spread yourselves thin. So you have to become a different person. Like everything inside of you and around you has to change. Just like Kate. Let's go back to Kate's story. Kate does her grocery shopping online so that she doesn't walk around the grocery store while she's hungry. Everything around her is changing. All right. Her meals are planned out for the entire week so that she doesn't have to make bad decisions right before when she gets hungry. Okay. And if you missed the beginning of the call, Giovanna, we talked about Kate, her fitness goal for the year. So I know you're just tuning in with us, but everything inside of her and around her has changed. All right. If your goal is to have a 5K week and you've never done that before, some things are going to have to change in your calendar to be able to do that. You're going to have to be able to say no to some things. Um, so guys, those are my two pieces of advice here. Is that you're going to miss out on some things, but there's power in the no. And building something special means taking things off the table. All right. So we all started this beginning of this call talking about we wanted more time freedom. We wanted to eliminate the pressure of money. All right. We want to spend more time with our families, to travel, to build something intentional, to serve people. We want to have experiences with our kids or with our loved ones. We want to reach a new level of health that we've never reached before. Um, my question is maybe you can leave with this for yourself is what do you want? You want to be able to get really, really clear on that. And are you willing to go all in on that for 5 years? If you are, if you're in for that, whether that's in your fitness, in your relationships, here in this business, if you're in for that, put 5 years in the chat. 5 years is not a lot of time, guys. I saw someone put 10. I'm with you. 5 years is not a lot of time. In this business, it can set you completely free financially. You'd be 100% passive on residual income from this business. 5 years could bulletproof your future. 5 years could you could help a lot of people. All right. Yeah, that's 10, Giovanna. I mean, you get to the first 5 years, that's gonna set you free financially. 10 years is gonna make you wealthy. Okay. So hopefully some of those things that you guys envision were not just business related. That's definitely not where my mind went, but there's things that I need to get really crystal clear on so that I can go accomplish those things that were coming up in my mind as I was going through this process this morning with just by myself as I was taking notes for this call and thinking about Kate and thinking about the kids and thinking about this business and you guys. There's things that I need to get really crystal clear on. So get clear on what you want and then get clear on the fact that it's not going to happen overnight and you're going to need to commit to something. It could be 3 years or 5 years, but it does not happen overnight. So hopefully this exercise was helpful for you guys. I know this is not a normal team call. I love doing this every once in a while because heck, professional athletes do it. Some of the best performers in the world do it. Why not us? Why not us? We want to be excellent. Why not visualize and take some time to slow down and think about exactly what we want so that when decisions come up this week, we can make the decisions that take us forward, not the decisions that set us back. So, hope this blessed you guys. Let's have a great Monday. Let's go crush it. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Scott.
Let's go.